Welcome viewers, Zach here, and welcome to the second round of the Row Racing Content Creator Clash, whatever it's called. Anyways, let's get to it. So for today, we are racing at the Qatar circuit. Obviously, it's a fictional track, but a quite fun one. I've been practicing this all week, and I feel like, unlike last week, I can do a lot better this race. So here is my qualifying lap. And with that, qualifying was over. This is the fastest lap I could get, but I was pretty happy with it because that's kind of the average laps I was getting while I was practicing throughout the week. Well, it was P4 out of 4 because only 4 of us was in qualifying and there's only one qualifying session. The rest of the people who joined had to start in the pit lane, including my teammate Oski. And with that, it was time for the formation lap. This race was going to be 20 laps, including the one formation lap. And we do have a little bit of an advantage this time because some people are in the pit lane. And I feel more confident in this track. It's wider and it's easier to drive in general. And I've had a bit more practice than I did with Spain. And with that, it was lights out and away we go. We get a pretty good start. We're currently in P4, I believe. It's pretty hard to see. But we're doing pretty okay. I'm very confident in this track. I've learned all my racing lines, even though I still have the racing line on. But anyways, we get a pretty good start. I'm using a lot of ERS, and in the corners, I'm using that regen a lot. So at least I have a bit of that ERS. But I'll tell you, make sure to watch to the end because there's going to be some crazy battles and a lot of safety cars. And now we are on board on lap 4. We're doing pretty well. I'm in P4, which is a really good position, and I hope to keep that throughout the race. But what's this? There's a safety car. It looks like Razor is out of the race, and he's pretty much the fastest driver so far. And a few laps later, after the safety car, I was doing pretty well, but then I learned the hard way that the soft tires don't have a lot of life, and I was literally understeering. It was a bit difficult to drive, and then there was another safety car which was perfect because I went into the pits, but then everyone else went to the pits, so everyone saw the opportunity and took it. And now we jump onto lap 8. So we're still at that second safety car and it's almost ending, and I've opted for the mediums because I'm kind of hoping we get another safety car so I can do a double medium stint, because I feel like maybe the mediums might not hold out until the end of the race. Like, they'll be good for a long time, but then I think we're going to struggle a bit, so I'm just hoping for that. A few laps later, we do get a good scrap with Zoo. However, at the end, he does have the better pace and gets ahead of me. It was a good fight, but he's faster, I guess. And then we jump onto lap 13. So I'm like in 5th place ahead of Oski, my teammate, which is pretty good, I guess. You know, it's better to have more points. But then I see ahead of me is another driver, so I'm like, yes, I'm catching up. Then I see it's another safety car. While as annoying as the safety car is, it gave us another opportunity to go for the mediums so that we could go to the end safely. However, there was a problem. I got too many corner cuts and then I got a 5-second penalty. Those penalties are really harsh. And after a very long safety car, it was finally time to go again. However, being the slowest driver, I wasn't able to catch up. Later on in the race, I think maybe somewhere earlier, Andy might have crashed, and that gave me P5. And I thought to myself, at least P5 is really good. So all I had to do was stay ahead of him. That should be easy, right? Well, just one lap later, you'll never guess, he caught up. However, after remembering all the training I've gone through, eventually I did catch up to Andy later on in the lap, and it was just us two fighting for that position, and just ahead, not too far away, was Oski. So maybe there was like 2 positions there, so maybe I could still get my P4 back. And that was probably the most exciting part of my POV. And surprisingly, I was able to keep ahead of Andy, and I was pretty happy about that. I'm like, yes, P5 and maybe even P4, but then I got another warning and then a penalty. So I lost 5 seconds to Andy, who's now going to be 5 seconds ahead. So I have to try and make up that time and maybe hope that he messes up so I can catch up. And while me and Andy were fighting, here was going on in the Discord VC.
Bro, Andy and Alpha Romeo is what's happening right now, honestly.
So yeah, apparently no one knows who the Alfa Romeo guy is. Well, we were approaching lap 21 and I've lost all hope for P5 or even P4 at all. So I decided just to finish the race. But then a glimmer of hope once again, just like Spain, Andy had a 5-second penalty and I was right behind him. This was going to be intense. So here we are on the last lap. So here is the first corner. Can we get ahead of him? No, he does get that better line, which is kind of weird because it's not the same as the racing line, but whatever. Anyways, we are onto the second corner. Can we make it here? No, not quite. We do take the same line as him. It's all okay. Then we go through those tricky, tight corners. I do play around with the fuel so I can get that better rotation. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. Anyways, ooh, I did go for a lunge here, but we get 2 warnings. I really did risk it. I have to get that P5 no matter what the cost. Then we're gonna go through that fast left-hander pretty easy, but then that tricky right on the switchback. Do we do it well? Yes, we do. We don't go wide as some drivers have done, including myself. But we do pretty good. And then, oh, yeah, I oversteered there and I hit the wall. I didn't do that in any part of the race, but it didn't happen there. And then for the final nail cup-in, I hit the curb. You know, all the damage has been done. And I guess it's going to be P6 for us. That's a bit disappointing. I felt like I could have got that P5. But I'm pretty happy with the result. It's better than P7, which is what I got at Spain. So make sure to watch that video. That one's a disaster as well. Anyways, so we round here through the final corner. We already know what position it's going to be. We haven't really broken the car or anything. We've managed to keep it in one piece. And it's going to be P7. Next race is Greece. I'll see you there. Goodbye.